Now available in paperback and e-readers, John Haynes' Godbreaker. The man who rules the world takes on the Asgardian god of thunder in this action-packed, all-new John Haynes series adventure. Get your copy of John Haynes' Godbreaker in paperback and e-readers at online booksellers everywhere. Better get the cold slow, y'all, cause we're having us a barbecue. Kyle Rittenhouse's mother and sister are about to be evicted from their home in Antioch, Illinois. I'm wondering where I can go get some shrimp fried rice and chicken wings for my dinner this weekend, because that's how much I care about Kyle Rittenhouse's mom and his sister being evicted from their home. Now, according to Newsweek, Kyle Rittenhouse's sister, Faith Rittenhouse, has put up a GoFundMe in an effort to raise $3,000 in donations in an effort to pay back rent so that she and Kyle Rittenhouse's mother don't get evicted from their home. Now, Kyle Rittenhouse is the teenager who came to infamy back in August of 2020 when he saw a riot going on in Kenosha, Wisconsin from his television in Antioch, Illinois. And as he saw this riot going on and black people rioting in the street, Kyle Rittenhouse, at 17 years old, got so incensed that he wanted to, quote-unquote, help the police by driving down to Kenosha, Wisconsin, where the riot was going on, and help the police deal with all of the unruly black people who were rioting in the street because a black man wound up getting shot by a white police officer in a domestic violence incident. And as Kyle Rittenhouse saw this riot going on and these black people rioting in the streets, what he wanted to do was so desperately be there that he basically pleaded to his mother to let him help the police. And mom basically got in a car and drove him all the way to Kenosha, Wisconsin, with an AR-style weapon that he got from some friend or family member, and decided this was how he was going to volunteer to help the police during this riot. Now, any sane watch commander would have seen this boy, would have basically turned him around and sent him back to Antioch, Illinois. However, the dysfunctional people who are a part of the special kind of racism that Mr. Superboy talks about decided to let Kyle Rittenhouse be in this riot with an AR-style weapon at 17 years old to defend businesses and property during a riot. Again, this boy had no authorization as related to any sort of police organization, and he had no real training as related to being there. And if something had happened to him, the Kenosha Police Department would have been held liable, but they let this minor be at this riot, and as he was in the middle of this riot, what happened was he decided to be on the streets, and instead of him running into the black people who he had an issue with and was so incensed about that he possibly was coming there to kill them, what he ran into were a bunch of white leftists. And as he ran into these white leftists, Kyle Rittenhouse he wound up killing two of these individuals and then wound up wounding another. And in the aftermath, Kyle Rittenhouse was arrested and charged with murder. And as he was being charged with murder, there was a lot of outrage from those on the far right. And those on the far right got so upset that they began raising money to be able to pay for Kyle Rittenhouse's defense. Now, among those looking to help Kyle Rittenhouse was actor Rick Schroeder and comic creator Eric July. These were men who were looking to stand at the side of Kyle Rittenhouse during the time he was charged with these crimes, and Kyle Rittenhouse was further coddled and enabled by a judge who basically gave him a free pass and a jury who were a part of that special kind of racism Mr. Superboy talks about in many of his videos in the Midwest, who gave Kyle Rittenhouse a pass and acquitted him for the crimes that basically were shown of him participating in viral videos online. All of this was shown, and again, Kyle Rittenhouse got big passes for the crimes that he committed, and those crimes basically were ones he got a pass for in the system of man. But when we look at Kyle Rittenhouse, the 17-year-old who is now in his 20s, we see that he's not really much of the man that he says that he was back in 2020, because based on the way he's basically treating his mother and sister, he basically violates the Bible, because it's clear that he's less than an infidel because he's not looking to take care of his family based on what his sister has said. Now, Faith Rittenhouse says that she's seeking $3,000 to prevent her and her mother from being evicted because of her brother's unwillingness to provide or contribute to the family. And that has me scratching my head, because again, I thought Kyle Rittenhouse was supposed to be a big bad man with his gun, but we clearly see by his actions Kyle Rittenhouse isn't much of a man, similar to the father that he came from, because we see that, like his father, he's not looking to care for his own family, and it looks like the apple ain't really fallen too far from the tree, because if he was a true to the game man, he would be looking to take care of his family first. Again, I have to wonder with Kyle Rittenhouse how much of a man he is, because he had hundreds of thousands of dollars, even millions of dollars raised, and you would think that as a man, he would be looking to take care of his own mother and take care of his sister and make sure that they had a place to stay. But no, Kyle Rittenhouse, he shows us that he is no way a man, and is very much like these racists in the Midwest want to talk about Pookie and Ray Ray. I mean, basically, here we have a male who basically, like Pookie and Ray Ray, wants to run the streets, even though he leaves his mother and his sister to fend for themselves. And I have to wonder, where are all of those folks that were out here looking to spend money on the far right? I mean, all these people say that they're all about family values. They say that they're all about looking out for family. I mean, many of these conservatives will sit here and say, oh, we're all about taking care of family. Well, Kyle Rittenhouse ain't taking care of family, and y'all had all this money to give Kyle Rittenhouse. Well, where's your money to take care of Kyle Rittenhouse's family? I mean, where's Rick Schroeder with his millions from his TV shows like Silver Spoons and all them movies he did? Where's Eric July with all of that Rippaverse money? I mean, he's gotten over $1 million per comic that he's done. I mean, all these guys have all this money, and you would think that they would be able to get to Kyle some money as related to helping him take care of his family, and you would think Kyle would have some money from that book deal that he made. But we see that Kyle basically, he likes to go out here and say, oh, I got a deal with the black people, but it's clear to me that he can't take care of his own business, and that really shows me how he's just a dysfunctional male, like he likes to say Pookie and Ray Ray are, because, again, when it comes to a man can go out here and take care of his own business. And Kyle isn't, again, willing to take care or provide or contribute to his family, and that really shows him being an embarrassment to the far right, because again, this family values is their platform. This is their statement. This is the statement that these Pharisees and Sadducees love to talk about regarding black people. This is what they say is their standard. Oh, they love to stand on family values. Well, it don't look like Kyle Rittenhouse values his family. No, it doesn't look like he values that family at all. And that really resonates on his character, because he said, oh, I want to go out and help the police. But how do you help the police when you can't even help your own family? Critical question I gotta ask Kyle Rittenhouse, who basically went out here to Kenosha, Wisconsin, looking to go out here and take the mott out of black people's eyes without looking at the plank in his own. I mean, this boy went to try to do a man's job and shows us that he's not ready to be a real man of character, because a man of character would have understood this one principle as related to male authority and male authority figures. As they watched those riots go on in Kenosha, Wisconsin, they would have understood the whole male authority as related to respecting male authority, and that's where Kyle Rittenhouse showed me how poor his character was from minute one, because any man who supports the police would have understood that the best way to support police is to stay home across state lines and stay home, because this ain't got nothing to do with you. And the people who are in charge of law enforcement, they are the ones who are trained to handle these situations, and they don't need help from civilians. This was clearly shown to me in an episode of Dragnet back in 1969 or 1970, where they said that they don't need the help of vigilantes. And again, if Kyle Rittenhouse was supposedly so pro-police, he would understand that when it comes to law enforcement, they don't need you to come to help them. No, when in a riot situation, the thing that law enforcement needs you to do, if you respect their authority, is to stay home and let trained officers do their job. But that really shows me that Kyle Rittenhouse really, again, didn't understand what authority was, or to respect authority, or to respect chain of command, because part of being in law enforcement is the ability to follow orders and follow people who are of higher authority, like watch commanders who are sergeants and lieutenants, and those who are captains. Again, people in the chain of command. And Kyle Rittenhouse showed that he could not follow the chain of command with his behavior that would have been considered insubordination had he been an officer. Again, you're coming to a riot zone with an AR-style weapon, weapons that even law enforcement at the time possibly weren't carrying, and escalating a situation. Again, this guy was a loose cannon, and possibly was one of the reasons why he was not considered for the U.S. military, because in the U.S. military, you have to follow chain of command. You have to be able to follow the lead of leaders. And again, this behavior by saying, oh, he's unwilling to provide or contribute to the family, shows me that he really has an issue with chain of command. Because, again, when you're in a family, a man who is of character, a son who was raised right as a son, is going to want to take care of his mother and make sure that she's taken care of. That's what a son who is of good character is looking to do. He's going to make sure that his mama's rent is going to be paid, his mother is going to be taken care of, and if he has made so much money like Kyle Rittenhouse has been claimed to make, he would have even went out and even bought his mother a home and made sure that she was taken care of. That's what a man would do for his mother. But when you have a beta male like Kyle Rittenhouse, who is going on false images of manhood and masculinity and overcompensates by hiding behind police badges and hides behind guns, it shows me that this guy is not a man. No, he doesn't understand the principles of manhood, doesn't understand what it means to be a man and what it means to have male life skills or male survival skills. No, he never got any of that. Yes, he knew how to fire a weapon, but he didn't know how to take the lead as a man. And because he doesn't know how to take the lead as a man, the whole structure of his household is falling apart, and it basically proves a point that Jesus said, "Ye shall know them by their fruits." And when it comes to these far-right types like Kyle Rittenhouse, we see that he's not bearing fruit. No, he's basically one of these children of the corn, And as one of these children of the corn, he's basically showing us that in that single mother household, he grew up like a stalk, listening to far-right rhetoric, and basically was not looking to follow the law and help out the police, as he stated. No, he basically, as I always saw it, was looking to kill black people and try to find a justification for it under white supremacy, looking to use the cover of the riots, I believe, to go out and murder black people. And this basically shows me that he really wasn't about following the law as related to what conservatives say, because again, conservatives say that they're all about family values, and how can you say that you're a conservative when you're not looking out for your own family according to what the Bible has said? And again, the conservatives say they follow the Bible because according to God, those who don't take care of their family are less than an infidel. And again, here we have Kyle Rittenhouse saying he's unwilling to provide or contribute to his family. And we know that these far-right types are going to look to move the goalpost on Kyle Rittenhouse. They're going to look to move the goalpost on this guy and say he's not a part of them. But they were all down with him. And again, if they were supposed to be standing by their values, again, you would think Rick Schroeder and Eric July would show up and go help their boy's family, because again, they say that they're all about these values, but we clearly see that those on the right are just as dysfunctional as those on the left. But they want to go to black people and tell us we're messed up, when in actuality we look at this whole situation with Kyle Rittenhouse and we see the hypocrisy of those on the right and the left, and especially those on the far right, because they're the ones who talk about family values, but we don't see them valuing their family, because no son worth his character is going to leave his mother out here like Kyle Rittenhouse has done, or leave them to be on the brink of eviction. Again, that no father worth or son worth his salt is going to leave his mother and his sister out here like this. Men look to take care of the women in their family first, and because that shows women outside how they're going to be taken care of. And when we look at Kyle Rittenhouse, here he was looking to be a big bad man with a gun, but we see that he's just a basic punk. And again, a punk not ready to take care of family business, and sitting up here talking about how he's a man with a gun. But we see that this male doesn't know anything about how to be a man, because he talks about looking to, again, protect the community from those black rioters, but can't take care and protect his family from losing their home. And again, shows me this boy isn't ready to be a man, and it's basically the man in crisis I said he was over 4 years ago. Now, if you want to learn how to identify dysfunctional males like Kyle Rittenhouse and see how their behavior basically puts them on a road to dysfunction, you can pick up my book, The Man Crisis, on Amazon.com in paperback and Kindle format. You can also find The Man Crisis at other online booksellers like Draft the Digital, Google Play, Barnes & Noble, and big box retailers like Walmart and Target. And if you'd like to see me make more videos taking guys like Kyle Rittenhouse to the barbecue, you can drop a donation to the Patreon, the PayPal, or the Cash App by clicking the links in the description box. That's all I have to say for this video. You can comment, rate, and subscribe. Now available in paperback and e-readers, John Haynes' Illuminati, the man who rules the world, takes on the head of the global elite in this all-new action-packed John Haynes series adventure. Get your copy of John Haynes' Illuminati in paperback and e-readers at Amazon.com and online booksellers everywhere. Now available in paperback and e-readers, Isis, Dark Incubus. The goddess next door gets enthralled in a romantic entanglement with an evil incubus in this all-new Isis series adventure. Get your copy of Isis, Dark Incubus in paperback and e-readers today. Support Black-owned and Black-operated digital broadcast media. www.niceradionetwork.com. Nice Radio Network, broadcasting 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.